It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Buffalo Bills alum Stevie Johnson. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. I'm Rich Gaenzler. So much going on. We're going to talk about the tale of two halves, first and second in the Bills-Packer game with a 10-point Bills victory. Dr. Jared Shatkin will join me to talk about that in the first segment of the show. We'll have the Mafia joining us, a very special Bills guest as well. Then, of course, we'll look forward to the Bills and Jets and AFC Eastern Division road tilt, where the Bills are big favorites. We're going to talk about the trade moves as well this week, all coming up. But first, let's go around the water cooler. All right, there's the water cooler. Here we are. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. Let's break down the tale of two halves, the Packer game, 10-point win for the Bills in a game where, Jared, I thought, in the postgame, it almost sounded like a loss, at least coming from the quarterback and the coach, because I think they left some out on the field that they probably didn't take advantage of.
Yeah, I also don't think that's the first time I've heard a postgame like that. I think last year we beat the Dolphins 35-0, and it seemed like we lost when they interviewed Josh, and he was all upset, and then he came back the next week and just completely destroyed, I think, the Commanders. But, yeah, they really had a reason to be upset, though. I think in that second half, it was pretty poor decision-making, pretty poor play calling. And, I mean, the Packers outplayed us in the second half. And that first half, it looked like we were going to run away with the game. So, I mean, I guess you got to give the Packers a little bit of credit, but also it just didn't seem like we were awake for that second half.
Yeah, I felt on both sides of the ball that was true. I mean, the first half, they had all the pressure on Rodgers. Second half, he gets a little bit loose. Obviously, they have the lead, the Bills do, so they can back off a little bit. But my gosh, as we predicted going into that game, the Green Bay Packers over 200 yards rushing, almost 7 yards a carry. Thank God the Jets don't have Breece Hall this week.
Yeah, and I think the score played a role even in that running game, because I think we were playing nickel pretty much the whole second half. So they could gash us pretty well, but their running backs, I mean, they were having chunk plays, 40 yards, 35 yards. Yeah, thank God Breece Hall's not in this game, because that guy looked like he was running away with the Rookie of the Year award, and he's a phenomenal player. So I think that's a big win for us.
By the way, I don't mind the get all the yards you want between the 20s, bend, don't break, right?
No, I do not mind that whatsoever. I think that second half was a little by design defensively. I really do, because they didn't let Aaron Rodgers pass all over us, and it almost seemed as if the Packers were conceding the loss, right? Because what are you calling plays, a running play with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter for if you're down 2 scores? They were within reach. Rodgers has done it a million times. It seems like the play calling for the Packers was extremely questionable, and I think the Bills were playing that the right way.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Josh. I mean, obviously in the first half, the touchdown plays by themselves, the scramble, and then the flip to Knox after the pump fake was terrific, and the throw on the out and up to Diggs was unbelievable. Off his back foot, almost sidearmed to a perfect spot.
I mean, there's nobody I've seen in the league who can make plays like that. And in the first half, it was amazing what he was doing. He wasn't getting sacked. He was throwing to guys that nobody else in the league would even attempt. Second half, he got careless with the ball. But, I mean, listen, if we're going to scrutinize that guy, what are we doing here? His stats speak for themselves. He's got 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's allowed to have a bad half every once in a while.
Yeah, McKenzie with a great touchdown. I loved his little stutter step that totally froze the defender going into score. And then I want to talk a little bit about James Cook. He did things in that Packer game that I think we've all been waiting to see and have expected since day one.
Well, I was watching Dalvin Cook earlier that day thinking, I want to see James Cook used the same way in Buffalo, and I think he's well on the way to doing that. And I think in that game, luckily we gave him some carries. That one big reception he had on the broken play, that guy could be a really nice player for us, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. On the defensive side, Settle and Rousseau had great games. Milano, of course, another great game. Now he's got the oblique. We're a little bit worried about him and Poyer's elbow. And, of course, as we get a little bit closer to the game, we'll find out what their status will be going into it. Great job, as always. Mafia coming up. We'll have that for you, and also, of course, the final segment when we talk about the Jets game. So stay close, all right? Coming up next, we're going to get serious with Why So Serious? Stevie Johnson, our special guest, as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at iSmile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously, not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
Okay, team, we're down by 6 with only one play left. It's comeback time. Yeah! We need a play. The reverse ribeye, no good. The porterhouse pitch, too risky. The strip steak sweep, that's it. Go Russell!
Touchdown!
Where would you like to have dinner tonight?
Russell's, of course.
Be my guest and let us do the rest.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. I am joined by one of my favorite Bills all time. You see his signed jersey behind me. He just happened to be the legend of the game at the Packers game this past Sunday night, and just one of the best dudes you will ever lay eyes on, have a conversation with, whatever the case may be. Stevie Styles, a.k.a. Stevie Johnson, real name, joins us on the program. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
Man, how you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to circle back with you, man.
It's been so long, man.
All right. It's been sweet.
For sure, for sure. You remain to this day the only Bills receiver amongst a hugely talented group to have 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. That's still a remarkable, remarkable stat you should be very, very proud of, man.
Yeah, I am, man. It was some good times. We had some good times out there in Buffalo, you know, trying to create and get to where this team is now. You know, that was a great thing that I've done. I think the fans are in a great time right now to see a player like Stephon Diggs be able to get to that record and break it and set his own record. It's pretty cool that we living in a time right now of this Bills glory. You know, it's been a process. And
what do you think of Gabe Davis?
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable, man. He came in. I mean, he already was a stud in college. You know, if you checked him out there, and then just seeing him transition to the NFL and continue to elevate his game has been good to see. And he represented that 13 well, man. He making a name for himself, and he's solidifying his spot in the NFL for sure after the season.
Talk a little bit about what it was like. I was there in the stands as just a fan watching you get the the Buffalo chant going on right before the game started. What was that moment like for you? Obviously, being on the field, it's different from being a player, but I'm certain that the loud crowd, the Sunday Night Football, the energy was probably pretty similar to maybe what you experienced as a player.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was electrifying. You know, I can end it with that answer. It was electrifying, but you know, just walking through the tunnel, seeing the other players, seeing our players, you know, seeing the officials, the you know, everything. It was just so surreal. You know, it was something that I wish I can just bring a lot of my, you know, players that I mentor in our mentor program, so that they can understand, like, you're going through these sacrifices for this moment, for these type of moments, to be able to look at 75,000 and start a war chant. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about. It was sweet, man. I hope a lot of people can experience that. You know,
the book is called "There's Always a Way" with Stevie J. It's a great children's book. And by the way, everyone, Christmas is coming. Hello. Amazon is where you can find it. It's extremely affordable, and there's all kinds of life lessons. And you mentioned Charlie Roberts, who's a local Buffalo guy who you guys met. I mean, doesn't the story go somehow about, like, there was a beer, the why so serious, something. Go through a little bit of the background of how you two met and then how the book came about.
Yeah, you know, it was pretty cool, man. The universe put us together. I had an event with my guys, Buff Logo, it was a golf event, and I wanted to get the basketball court out there. And just so happened, our illustrator, Zach, came and he ended up winning, one of the shots, the basketball shots on the golf course. And, we ended up connecting. He became like a coloring book illustrator for me. I met Zach McCabe. We're doing our coloring book at the same time, and I just connected us all together. And, we ended up coming up with a clear, revision of the book. And, there's always a way with Stevie J ended up coming out, and we met with our publishers, actually, Imagine We Publishers. And now it's been pretty unreal, man. I didn't expect it to be as big as it is, even being in the locations that we're in. But I'm glad that it's doing what it's doing, because it's helping a lot of kids, and we able to reach a lot of these kids in the Buffalo community, and hopefully outside it soon.
That's super cool, man. Well, continued success and everything. You were, I gush about you every time anybody asks me about my very brief relationship with you, because you were like my go-to guy when I had my first TV show. Like I always do, I could go to you for like something fun, something cool. Just the vibe was perfect around you all the time. And I can't thank you enough for back then and currently what you're doing for us now. And I know you got your son there, you're going to get your daughter, you got a lot going on. And for the few minutes we spent together, I can't thank you enough, man. And please keep in touch.
All good, boy. It's all love. Tap in whenever.
All right, be well, man.
All right, bro.
All right, Stevie Johnson on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. The Mafia joins us coming up next.
I see patients every day that are in constant pain. They're unable to chew, they're unable to smile. With mini dental implants, I'm able to give them a new set of teeth that they can chew with, they can smile with, and finally be out of pain.
I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me.
I really like the fact that, you can be you again, only better.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us for a free consultation.
Family is the most important to us above everything else. 34 Group is a general construction company.
We had a part in rebuilding the community. We choose Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York because they are reliable.
It's just great coverage, and we have a great relationship with the folks at Highmark. We want our legacy to just be that we were good people that loved our community.
It is definitely a love affair, I can tell you that right now.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, joined by Sam Castronova, Arena Bowl Pro Bowler. Does that make sense? All pro, I guess it would be.
You could go with that, yes.
Okay, very good. With him, he's a pro quarterback. We're going in the pocket. All right, Sam, so we're in the pocket with you. You're a pro quarterback in the Arena League with some big things on the horizon potentially for you. I know there are some XFL talks, USFL talks, stuff like that, right, for you?
Yes, sir. It's definitely a possibility, so just waiting for an opportunity.
Right, but Buffalo native looking to make it even bigger in the pro football world. But let's talk about quarterbacks. We always talk about the opponent. It's Zach Wilson this week from the Jets. Look, big kid, athletic, big arm, but for whatever reason, it just seems like he hasn't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I saw some on Twitter today. They're like, he throws a pretty ball, but it takes a lot more than that to be a good starting quarterback in the NFL. He's definitely struggled a little bit early on. He's been injured. I think he's just got a lot to learn. He's making some questionable decisions, and I think he's probably going to have a tough week again this week.
Yeah, you would suspect that the Bills defense will get after him a lot. Von Miller, we hope Russo has another big game, right?
Absolutely. Russo looks very, very good. I think Von's been a tremendous help to him, but I think he's going to be a good pro for a long time. Yeah,
Breece Hall not there for him either is going to probably hinder his ability as well, because the Bills are going to be able to focus more on the quarterback play than on the run game. Great job. We'll catch up with you in a second here with the Mafia. Well, a quick set change, and Sam joins us once again as a member of the Mafia with his dad, Derek. Welcome. First time this year being on the show. Good to have you back.
Great to be here.
Very special guest, Laurie Krajna from the Salvation Army joins us. We're going to talk a little bit about the holiday bell ringers and all of that.
Thanks,
you guys always do great work, of course. And, of course, Dr. Jared Shatkin is part of the Mafia as well. So let's start, Laurie, with you. talk a little bit about the Salvation Army and why the holiday season is so important to you, especially with your bell ringer program. I know you talked before our shoot in terms of you needing some volunteers in terms of bell ringers, and of course, in the end, where does all that money go to?
Yeah, we definitely need bell ringers. If you ring a bell for 2 hours at one of our locations, it usually raises enough money to feed a family of 4 for a week.
Wow.
How do you say no to that?
Right.
So we've got 75 locations around town. You can tell us if you want to be in a mall or in a Tops vestibule or wherever you want to be, but we need a lot of volunteers to pull this off. And the money stays right here in Western New York, right here in Buffalo, feeds families, houses homeless families, provides workforce development, really a lot of great programs.
Yeah, and you've been doing great stuff with them for a very long time. We know you're a big Bills fan. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
As part of the Mafia, of course. So let's get into some topical stuff, guys. Some trades. The Bills were active. We weren't sure if they were going to be, but they were. Derek, I'm going to start with you. Nyheim Hines joins the running back group. Zach Moss gets moved to the Colts. What do you think?
Well, Speed's dangerous, and this guy's fast, and I'm excited about that. Zach Moss, I mean, he served a purpose for a while, but I think he was not a fan favorite. And we were moving in a different direction, and the Bills, they replaced him with someone I think that's going to make everybody happy. He's a versatile player for sure.
For sure. You can do a lot, right? Jared, he can return kicks and punts. He can be a slot receiver. He can play out of the backfield. It's weird to me because I think he's James Cook, right? But with more of a veteran pedigree and more in the return game that he can probably offer than Cook can.
I mean, yeah, I think if you're listening around to the radio today, you'll figure out that, yes, James Cook is someone who most of the Bills Mafia wants to play a bigger role in our offense, and he did last weekend and played very well. But if you want to win a Super Bowl, a veteran presence like that, I think it's going to be really nice for the locker room. And I just don't think there's really a loss in it. Like, if he's a net even to what we already have, he's still that. And if you win a championship, nobody's going to question the moves you make anyways.
No doubt about it. Sam, let me ask you about another pickup. Dean Marlowe comes back. And I'm curious whether that move was made. And sometimes the Bills have been sort of knee-jerk at times in terms of taking people in and out of the lineup. But in this situation, you wonder if Hamlin getting beat deep in the Packer game, that had anything to do, and of course Poyer's injury, with bringing Marlowe back.
Yeah, no, I like what I've seen so far from Hamlin. He flies around. I think it's more of a safety for Jordan Poyer. He's been pretty banged up many different occasions this year, so he knows the system. He's a veteran. He's a good player, so I don't think it has anything to do with him. I think he's been doing a great job filling in for Hyde. But I think it's a good move.
Yeah, Laurie, let me ask you about Josh. So Josh had a great first half. Second half was a little head scratching, right? I mean, what'd you make of his second half play?
Well, I wished, like everybody else, that we were going to have a little bit higher score, have a little bit more scoring in the second half. Glad to see the defense, though, kept it in control, so there were no last-minute surprises.
Yeah, it was interesting, Derek, in terms of the defense. Yeah, they held the Packers to 17, and Rodgers really wasn't a factor. Yeah, he had his 2 touchdown passes, but they got gashed in the run, and thank God Breece Hall's not in the Jets lineup this week after what we saw, what Aaron Jones and Dillon did to the Bills' run defense.
If you listen to some of the commentating after the game or the comments from the players, they were talking about this bend-don't break attitude that everybody talks about, right? Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but I've played sports. It is hard to get up for a game you're going to blow a team out. Mm-hmm. And so I think they just they gave them that much. And at the end, they weren't coming away with touchdowns. They were coming away with field goal attempts and whatnot. So the bend, don't break, I think, was the philosophy in the second half. And I think we all would have loved more scoring. I feel bad for the fans, really, more than anything, that went to the game. Because it was a Sunday night game, and they were everybody that went that I knew said it was boring in the second half. But we won, and that's important.
Last thing before predictions. I felt like in the post game that the Bills lost. Did you get that vibe? I mean, I know there was a lot of talk, Sam, about the chippiness of the game between, Diggs and Alexander and Douglas, and I thought there was way too much made about that than needed to be. But I felt like the head coach and the quarterback in particular, and I think this talks about their will to win, they were really disappointed despite scoring 27 and winning by 10.
Yeah, I think they know how talented they are. We know how good they are, and Coach McDermott and Josh, they hold themselves to such a high standard that they know that wasn't even close. That was probably a C- for us. So I think they just hold themselves to a higher standard, and that's what you want from a championship caliber team.
Okay, time for predictions now, and let's see. We'll go ladies before gentlemen. What do you think? Score prediction, Bills, Jets.
The Bills are going to take it 24-10.
24-10, a little bit closer than the spread, Jared.
I would say 28-10.
28-10, okay. Yeah, the 41-7 or whatever you predicted.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little closer.
You're a little bit more conservative this week?
I'm going to be the opposite of last week. I'm going to go 35-13 Bills.
35-13, Derek?
35-7.
35-7. Okay.
Maybe even 6 if they miss that.
All right, good job, guys. Let's get into some Tino's Dough and the 2-minute drill. All right, it's trivia. It's all Bills Jets related. You guys are playing as a team. If you think you know the answer, just blurt it out, okay?
Right, let's go, guys.
Question number 1. Which one of these Hall of Famers did not play for the Jets? Ronnie Lott, Jason Taylor, Ed Reed, or Randy Moss? Take a shot.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is right. The other 3 did play for the Jets. You might not have remembered, but yeah, Ronnie Lott, Jason Taylor, and Ed Reed spent time with the Jets. A lot of them only 1 year, but they did. Question number 2. The Bills and Jets first met in 1960. The Jets weren't the Jets in 1960. They were called another nickname. And oh, by the way, that nickname exists for a team that currently exists in the AFC South.
New York Titans.
Titans is right, yeah. They were the New York Titans before they were the Jets, so great, nice work. Good homework. Good homework. One more. 1 to go for the Tino's Dough. Ryan Fitzpatrick, we love. Fear the Beer, the Amish Rifle, we love him. Played for both the Bills and the Jets. Interestingly, his play caller for both the Bills and the Jets was the same guy. Chan Gailey is right on. The head coach for the Bills and the OC for the Jets when Fitz went there. Great job, guys. You've all won Tino's Dough. 3 for 3 again. Man, the Mafia, they know their stuff. All right. 4th and final segment coming up next. Me and Jared are going to talk about the Jets in depth. We'll talk about the possibility of Trey White maybe coming back in the Meadowlands this weekend. That's all next on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
Your kitchen is the heart of your home, so make it what you've always wanted.
Empire Granite Marble Quartz has everything you need to start your kitchen countertop makeover, all within your budget. Offering 24 months, 0% financing for a limited time. Empire has the largest indoor full slab showroom in Western New York, so visit the showroom today.
Make your dreams a reality with luxury you can afford.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin joins as we get into the Jets now. Divisional game. Of course, divisional game's more important than any. And, of course, now a road game against a team under Robert Saleh that seemed like they were starting to turn it around. And then Zach Wilson comes into play and things start going backwards a bit for them.
Yeah, he's been poor the last couple of weeks. And went from a team that I was a little nervous about seeing till now at this point I feel like it's another team we can kind of stomp.
It's interesting with the Jets because they're really talented. I mean, I think their skill positions are really talented. They add James Robinson to the mix now for Breece Hall, who's out, and Breece Hall's loss is enormous. I mean, it's got to be the story of the game for the Jets, I would think, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing unbelievable football, and he was winning games for them. They're 5-3, and they probably wouldn't be 5-3 without Breece Hall. And James Robinson is it's a good trade. It's what you do when you lose a star player like that. But I don't think it's something where he's going to be able to step up the way that Hall looked the first couple weeks.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what Garrett Wilson and Davis coming back after being a little nicked up. And Elijah Moore, what's his deal?
Yeah.
Very talented guy a year ago, and now no one really has any idea what his role is.
I mean, you're listening to these names, and you start to realize the Jets really do have quite a talented roster, but when there's things like Elijah Moore asking for a trade and there's issues in the locker room, yes, they're 5-3, but you kind of see a team that's on the downfall a little bit. And I think you see that in the NFL. When guys are requesting trades from teams, there's something wrong with that team.
Yeah, Robert Saleh, by the way, let's flip it over to the Jet defense, has been known for toughness, right? Just play hard, really aggressive. And you wonder if they'll take a little page out of the Packer book from this past week, get guys in the Bills' faces, make them jaw a little bit, maybe take a bad Bills penalty. Not that we're used to ever really seeing that. McDermott, I think, has coached them out of that. But you wonder if he will kind of instill them and say, hey, look what they did to them. And they're a really talented group on that side of the ball, too. I've always said since C.J. Mosley has been with the Jets, when he's healthy, he makes them much better.
Oh, no, for sure. And they got a guy in Sauce Gardner that is ready to jaw with Stephon Diggs. I mean, you saw him after the Packer game put the cheese head on. That guy's got a lot of personality, and he can definitely get under someone's skin. I don't think Diggs' skin, though, because Diggs is pretty clever.
Very talented up front are the Jets in terms of their pass rush. Quinnen Williams has 6 sacks. Carl Lawson's got 4 sacks. They're in the top 5, I think, in the league in sacks, and right up there in takeaways and sacks. They're a really, really active, physical defense, and the Bills will have their handful of that side of the ball.
Yeah, and our O-line hasn't been playing phenomenal recently. We got some injuries, and so we're really going to have to rely on Josh's legs to get away from pressure, which he has done a lot. But, yeah, it's going to be a game where you're going to watch Josh get hit a couple times. It's going to be a little worrisome, I believe.
Yeah, it should be. We know going into this that a double-digit, again, spread that the Bills are facing, man, maybe a little generous.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's generous because of Zach Wilson. I think he really has been playing terrible football. And when you lose to the Patriots by 12, who just came off a loss to the Bears by there's a lot of confidence for me that we're going to win by more than whatever the spread is.
I hate to say it, the league is so weird, though, this year.
It's so finicky, yeah.
You just don't know which way it's going to go, and especially with the spreads and who's playing where and when.
Yeah.
You know, the Jaguar game was that spoiler last year, and it was around this part of the season, right?
Yeah, I mean, and also, if you watch the power rankings a couple of weeks before and you watch the New York Jets beat the Packers, they were in the top 5. So maybe if we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, we wouldn't be saying the same thing about the Jets. So I guess you're right. Any given Sunday, anything could happen.
But not this week.
I don't believe this week, but I say that every week, and one of these weeks it's going to come back to bite me. But I really don't believe this week we're going to lose.
We got your pick as part of the Mafia. My pick, I'm going to go Bills 31-13. I think it's going to be a pretty easy game for the Bills, largely in part because, to your point, the Jets aren't going to score. They're going to be very limited in that way, and I think the Bills are going to be able to spread out their offense a little bit better than they did against the Packers and have first and second half scores as well. Great job again, as always. Thanks to you. Thanks to Stevie Johnson. Thanks to members of the Mafia. And for you watching as well, also got to thank, of course, our sponsors, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, I Smile, and Russell's as well. Go Bills, big tilt in the Meadowlands against the Jets. Thank you for watching. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Aarons at maarons@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.